Welcome to the Round 12 Injury Report, brought to you by AIA Vitality. Just going to run you through the health of the list going into this week's game against Adelaide. Starting from the weekend's game, so obviously we lost Brodie Grundy to that neck injury in the third quarter. So Brodie had that whiplash incident, which caused a pinched nerve and lost feeling down his right arm. So he's taken into hospital for some observation and released. So Brodie at this stage is recovering well. He's having a specialist consult today, but at this stage he'll be short-term out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll go conservative with Brodie with the nature of the injury, and he'll be after the Queen's birthday and after the bye before we see Brodie back playing again. From last week, so Tay Adams had a knock in an incident in the first quarter against Port Adelaide where he got his ankle taken out, stretched that knee joint. On scan, he had some soreness last week in the first training session, had it scanned, and looking at the scan, his original site of injury had showed complete healing, so there was no injury to the new site. Tay actually had a minimal tear a lot lower down on that MCL, which wasn't significant at all. He'll probably, the next 2 weeks, will rest and recover Tay and build him back up again. But as I say, one of the points of confidence out of the scan was that the fact that the original site held up and that it was a new incident and a new injury site. Obviously, Tay had ticked a lot of boxes off in his return to play, and we're really confident on Tay coming back to play that week. And as I say, once we went through those scans and spoke with a specialist, confidence was taken that the fact that if he was to get an injury on that knee joint, generally it would happen at the weakest point, and if that hadn't fully healed, it would have been in the original site. So again, the fact that it was a new site and a new injury gives us confidence that Tay's return to play, he had been correct and he had ticked all the boxes. As I say, now we'll be looking at the next 2 to 3 weeks then for Tay to recover from this new injury, build back up, and we'll probably see Tay after the bye round. JT, so he had that rolled ankle from the week before, was at about 90% function last week, but on the 6-day turnaround, probably just missing that last 24 to 48 hours to have full speed and have full function on cutting and turning. So JT will train as normal and be available to play. And some really good news, Billy Elliott will return to play this week. So he's had a really high-loading football week the last 3 weeks. So he's had a big conditioning phase, as I say, last 3 weeks. He's tapered down off of the end of last week, and we'll go through normal training this week and put his hand up for selection in the Adelaide game. Mason Cox, who had that hit to his larynx and the bruised larynx from a few weeks ago training. At the minute, he's non-contact football conditioning right now. He'll have a specialist review tomorrow to then progress to see whether he is available to go into full training and be available to play. So Mason has got that review tomorrow, so we'll update you post that. Levi Greenwood, again, status quo with his concussion symptoms, so he's still in non-contact light conditioning phase of training. Again, Levi's just a monitor at this stage, and we'll continue to update you as the symptoms alleviate. Jeremy Howe, he'll start to begin some low-level running and function now, so that wound's healing really well from his surgery. I say the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll see Jeremy start to build up his running capacity, his strength inside, and get back into some low-level footy function within the next month. Bo McCreary had that soleus strain after the Port Adelaide game, so it's on the minor end. Bo will be a test this week, so he had a strong running session on Sunday. We'll go into the trait development session and test out his football function tomorrow, with a view then of progressing into taking off his soft tissue running program and putting his hand up for selection. So Bo will be a test this week. Unfortunately, Tyler Brown had an incident in training last week, so he dislocated his shoulder. It's probably about the third time now that Tyler's had a shoulder episode in the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, where he's had little subluxes of that shoulder joint. So he'll see the specialist today for a review of whether he'll have to go in for surgery now and having a look at the scans to see whether the extent of the damage around that joint requires surgery. So I say he's got his appointment today, and the club will update you further with that, whether that will mean surgery for Tyler or if we'll go conservative route, which would be that 4 to 5 weeks of conservative management, building up his strength and reloading towards the back end of the season. So we'll update you as soon as we get more information from that consult today. And finally, Reef McInnes. So Reef coming off that syndesmosis, that ankle's healing up really well. We'll go one more week in the boot just to get better healing around that ankle joint and provide a better platform for him to then progress into his running function and get back into football training again. So Reece definitely training in the right direction. As I say, he'll be out of the boot now next week after a medical review today, and hopefully we'll see him going into football pretty quickly after that. So that's a wrap from the update for today. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed, we get the green light to fly into Adelaide this week, and let's get back to winning ways, all right? Let's go, Pies.